Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Flexing Joe. I just wanted to go over a couple quick trades for you all. Sorry for my voice. I've been fighting some sort of sickness for a few days now, so I'll try to make this brief. I got a lot of questions about these trades, and I wanted to discuss them so that everybody understood kind of what my thought process was behind it and what I was looking at. So the first trade was just before 11 a.m. Went long at 541.75. Two contracts scaled the first one off at 15 points, and then obviously trailed the runner up here. And then the second one, I went long at 541.25, so just 2 ticks lower than the first one. And this was a 3 contract trade, and I scaled the first one off for around 20. And the second one was actually scaled off at 50, and then moving this up. So I really sensed the momentum here, and that's why I went for a little bit of a wider target. So just quickly explain that on the 2-minute chart here as well. Like, you can see where taking 20 points put us right at around the EMAs, and then taking the 50 points, well, obviously was right here. And this was just seeing after we were going to cross over the 2-minute 20, but also just really targeting this pivot area right there on the 2. So what was my thought process for taking these 2 trades? I'll quickly explain it. So looking here at Thinkorswim, which is where I do all my charting, I just execute on Top Step X platform, right? I had a key level that I had marked from a very long time ago in NQ, and I don't delete any of my drawings for this exact reason. So that way, when we move into areas where we haven't been in a while, I still know what potentially could be in play. So here, what really caught my attention was as we were moving down into this level, right? I was waiting to see if we were going to have a bounce. At the same exact time, we were moving into this key area at 27 on the VIX, and I was waiting to see if we were going to reject. Now, if we were to continue to just keep flying through it, then I wouldn't have been too interested in trying this long, because we also would have continued to cascade down, right? And then I also had a level of interest on ES as well, right? So those of you who follow me, or if you watch any of my other videos, I like to look at all 3 before taking any trades. That has drastically improved my win rate. I have the bases loaded set up here that I also play, which includes looking at all 3 tickers. But this was not a bases loaded play. This was just a bounce off of the key level and a form of technical analysis that I've been working on for about 3 years. All right, so we have the NQ chart here at the 2-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, and the 10-minute chart, right? So looking here, right at the first one, obviously, I was expecting quite a large bounce. If I was to say that I made a mistake on this trade, I would say that my first scale was a little bit too eager, and I should have held on for the 2-minute 9 EMA touch, which is what I would have expected, and that would have been about a 40-point scale instead of taking the first one off for only 15 points. However, this did move up considerably from my entry at 41, which was on this following candle, on this 2-minute candle right here. So from about there to there, it was about 160 points. And obviously you can see, like, once we started to knife down, we put in this bearish engulfing candle here, and the second one, like, that's it. That's all she wrote for this trade, because I really just thought that this was the end of the move. But still a really solid trade. And, this took about, this took about 40 minutes in total to play out, and netted a few, over $2,000. Right. The second trade was a fast trade as well, as you can see from, marking out the entry right about here at 41. It was like 41.25, right? So I do remember that with this trade, being able to scale, seeing it come back to break even, I had not raised stop, because with this being such a large green candle, I thought that it might pull back. So I wanted to see how much it was going to pull back and give it a little room to breathe, especially where the VIX is very high. The candles have been moving with quite a large range. In hindsight, I probably could have re-added, but I did not want to increase my risk. I had already had locked some in. So I didn't want to, reset the risk for this trade. But because now, of course, hindsight being 2020, I can see that would have worked, and it would have worked really well, because, I could have scaled out another con again at the same point. But 20 points there, 50 points there, and then I can't remember the exact points where the trail stop was hit, but really large trade very quickly. You know, even just the 20-point scale and the 50-point scale is 1,400 in about 8 minutes. So pretty awesome trades there. However, you know, if we zoom out, right, like in this scenario, you're just looking at the chart. These look like large moves and they're great, but in reality, it was a bearish trend day. And what I was hoping for is something like what we saw on the day prior, which was Friday, where we had a much more steep reversal, and it took us not only over the orb low, but actually to a new high of day. I wasn't necessarily expecting that we would get a new high of day, but I was hoping that we would at least get to the orb low, and then maybe, if not to the orb low, maybe like not just to the orb low, but either previous days low, or even VWAP, right? So that would have been a substantially large move, right, from 541 to where VWAP was around 810. I was hoping for more than what we got. But anyways, that's the trade. That's the trade explanation. Pretty good profits in just a few minutes. I'm glad the trades both worked out. But if you have any questions, hit me up down below. Thanks for watching.